Part 2 of the conditionals.
Eccoci.
Yes. Okay, let's share it again. Ok. Continuiamo a vedere qui questa bella. Carla, are you with us?
Sì.
Ok.
Yes.
Allora, leggici queste note, tutte quante, grazie.
We normally use third conditional sentences to talk about how things could have been different in the past. For example, for hypothetical imaginary situation. Compare. Yesterday I got up late and missed my train. The real situation. If I hadn't got up late yesterday, I wouldn't have missed my train. The hypothetical or imaginary past situation.
Okay.
To make a third conditional, use if plus past perfect and would have plus past participle. Participle. The contraction of both had and would is, come si dice apostrofo?
Apostrophe the.
Apostrophe the.
And this is another problem because you always see the, but in a way is had and in another way is would. But it's always the.
Però può essere anche una facilità, perché tu
yes, of course.
non sbagli sicuro.
Yes, of course.
E nessuno se ne accorge.
Furbetta.
Yeah. Okay.
We can use might or could instead of would to make the result less certain. If she'd studied harder, she might have passed the exam.
Quest'ultimo nota, non vi preoccupate, non fa nessuna differenza, è una specifica ulteriore, però di fatto non cambia niente. Quello che noi potremmo fare è fare degli esercizi, ma non adesso. Prima andiamo a fare un po' di pratica mentale, tornando al nostro libro di pagina 85 e ci andiamo a leggere questa cosa. What would you do if? Myla, what would you do if somebody in the street asks you for money on your way home tonight?
Aiuto, dove siete? Ah, eccolo.
Yeah, number one.
Somebody in the street asked me for money.
Yeah. What would you do? Sorry.
Ma prof, che on your way che vuol dire home tonight?
Sulla tua strada per andare a casa? Mentre
Okay,
stai andando a casa?
On your way home. Okay.
On your way home. La strada di casa.
Mm-hmm.
Cioè non la strada di casa, la strada per recarti
per
a casa.
andare a casa.
Mm-hmm.
Ok. Generally, I answer when people ask me something, but it's very difficult that I give money.
You give money. Okay.
No.
And Elisabetta, what would you do if you were driving home at night and you saw somebody who had run out of petrol?
I don't understand. Run out of petrol, what is?
Finishing the oil
okay.
For the car.
The problem is that it happens in the night and probably being a woman, it's difficult to help somebody in the night. But I can call police, for example,
Yeah, yeah.
to help him.
Him or her, yeah, sure.
Well,
And Carla, what would you do if you saw an old man being attacked in the street by a couple of teenagers?
Mm. Also, this time is not easy to help the poor man, but anyway, I think that I couldn't stand up there without any help towards him. So probably I could say something anyway.
Yeah.
And yes, and call the police
For help.
as soon as
Mm-hmm.
yes, and calling the police as soon as I can. But in the meantime, probably I would like to do something anyway.
Okay. And Anna, what would you do if you were in a queue at a station or airport and someone asked to go in front of you because he was in a hurry?
I let to go
Mm-hmm.
in front of me.
Yeah. Okay, so you see that even if in the question they were all the conditionals, you were replied without using the conditional, not at all, but just in a very little situation, I mean, but your conversation was perfectly well done in the sense that even if you are not, and this is the answer of what you were saying before, that if we do understand what they say, I can even answer without using all the conditional or the first, the second, the third, or whatever, but giving my own way of speaking. But of course, I have to understand what they say, because reading this question, you all of you did understand perfectly well what they say, even if in your reply you were using different tenses. Okay, so this is something that is really true. Let's go into this reading. Okay. And we read the first part of the story. The ticket inspector. And you read one paragraph each, the usual order that I see here. Anna, Elisabetta, Maila, and Carla.
Okay. The ticket inspector. I was living in a student flat in North London when the police knocked on my door one night. I thought it was because I hadn't paid the rent for a few months, so I didn't open the door. But then I wondered if it was something to do with my mother, who I knew wasn't very well.
Mm-hmm.
There was no phone in the flat, and this was before the days of mobile phones. So I ran down to the nearest phone box and found my dad in Leeds, in the north of England. He told me that my mom was very ill in hospital and that I should go home as soon as I could.
Okay.
When I got to the station, I found that I'd missed the last train to Leeds. There was a train to Peterborough from where some local trains went to Leeds, but I would miss the connection by about 20 minutes. I decided to get the Peterborough train. I was so desperate to get home that I thought maybe I could hitchhike from Peterborough.
Yes.
Ticket, please. I looked up and saw the ticket inspector. He could see from my eyes that I'd been crying. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Of course I'm okay," I said. "You look awful," he continued. "Is there anything I can do?" "You could go away," I said rudely.
Rudely, yes.
But he didn't. He sat down and said, "If there's a problem, I'm here to help." The only thing I could think of was to tell him my story. When I finished, I said, "So now you know. I'm a bit upset and I don't feel like talking anymore." Okay, he said, finally getting up. "I'm sorry to hear that, son. I hope you make it home."
Finish it.
I continued to look out of the window at the dark countryside. 10 minutes later, the ticket inspector came back.
Came back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Now, we have read just now the beginning of a true story by the writer Bernard Hare about something that happened to him when he was a student. Now, what do you think happened next? What do you think?
The inspector helped him
To do what?
to come from his parents.
To go to his parents? Yes. Let's listen to it. Okay, let's see if the audio is working.
5.2.
It is.
The ticket inspector touched my arm. "Listen," he said, "when we get to Peterborough station, run as fast as you can to platform 1. The Leeds train will be there." I looked at him without really understanding what he had said. "What do you mean?" I said. "Is the train late or something?" "No, it's not late," the ticket inspector said. "I've just radioed Peterborough station. The train is going to wait for you. As soon as you get on, it'll leave. The passengers will complain, but let's not worry about that. You'll get home, and that's the main thing." And he walked away. I suddenly realized what an amazing thing he had done. I got up and went after him. I wanted to give him everything I had, all the money in my wallet, but I knew he would be offended. I grabbed his arm. I just wanted to, but I couldn't continue. "It's okay," he said, "no problem." "I wish I had a way to thank you," I said. "I really appreciate what you've done." "No problem," he said again. "Listen, if you want to thank me, the next time you see someone in trouble, help them. That will pay me back. And tell them to do the same to someone else. It'll make the world a better place." When the train stopped, I rushed to platform 1, and sure enough, the Leeds train was there waiting. And a few hours later, I was with my mum in hospital. Even now, years later, whenever I think of her, I remember the good ticket inspector on that late-night train to Peterborough. It changed me from a young man who was nearly a criminal into a decent human being. I've been trying to pay him back ever since then.
Okay.
5.2.
Very nice. I enjoyed it. So, Elisabetta, what did Bernard have to do as soon as he got off the train?
I haven't understood.
You didn't. Anybody? Myla, did you?
Could you repeat, please?
What did Bernard have to do as soon as he got off the train?
What's the got off? Scendere?
Yes.
I don't understand that very well.
I understand he
Just tell me what you did, what you understood, and what you understand. No problem about the questions.
I understand that he must change the train because
Yes.
another train waiting for him.
Because the other train was waiting for him, yes. So he had the first thing, he has to run to another
Yeah.
platform, to take
yes.
another train.
Another train.
Yes, that was waiting for him. And how did Bernard react? That isn't so easy to express.
He tried to, to thanks, come si dice?
Yes, he tried to thank him, and yes, because he really appreciated what the ticket inspector did. And then what did the ticket inspector then ask him to do?
Don't thank him, but made the same for other people. Help
Yes.
other people.
Help other people in your
Make
future.
the world a better place.
A better place, yes, more or less. Now we can see if we can listen to it again by reading it. Let's see if the open script is working. It is. Do you read it here? It's very small, but as soon as he started speaking, it's becoming yellow, so you can see it better. Okay. Let's try.
5.2. The ticket inspector touched my arm. Listen, he said, when we get to Peterborough station, run as fast as you can to platform 1. The Leeds train will be there. I looked at him without really understanding what he had said. What do you mean? I said. Is the train late or something? No, it's not late, the ticket inspector said. I've just radioed Peterborough station. The train is going to wait for you. As soon as you get on, it'll leave. The passengers will complain, but let's not worry about that. You'll get home, and that's the main thing. And he walked away. I suddenly realized what an amazing thing he had done. I got up and went after him. I wanted to give him everything I had, all the money in my wallet, but I knew he would be offended. I grabbed his arm. I just wanted to, but I couldn't continue. It's okay, he said, no problem. I wish I had a way to thank you, I said. I really appreciate what you've done. No problem, he said again. Listen, if you want to thank me, the next time you see someone in trouble, help them. That will pay me back. And tell them to do the same to someone else. It'll make the world a better place. When the train stopped, I rushed to platform 1, and sure enough, the Leeds train was there waiting. And a few hours later, I was with my mum in hospital. Even now, years later, whenever I think of her, I remember the good ticket inspector on that late-night train to Peterborough. It changed me from a young man who was nearly a criminal into a decent human being. I've been trying to pay him back ever since then.
Okay.
Now it's more clear.
Yes, even the hearing problem between the headphone and the computer, and to get everything is not so easy for you because you are on the other side of the computer. Okay, after this story was on the BBC, several people wrote with their story about being helped by strangers. Okay, now we are going A, read the students, and B, read the angel. We read 2 other stories. Who want to read first? Carla, would you like to, please? No, you were already reading something. Myla.
The students?
Yes, please.
I was living in South Korea at the time, teaching English. I had to leave the country and return again because of problems with my visa.
Yes.
So I booked a ferry to Fukuoka in Japan. I intended to Japan, porco Giuda. Perché già me l'hai corretto. Penso che me l'hai corretto, invece me lo ricorregge uguale. I intended to change some Korean money into Japanese yen when I go there. But when I arrived, I discovered it was a holiday in Japan. And all the banks are closed. And all the banks were closed. I didn't have a credit card, so I walked from the ferry terminal toward the town, wondering what I going to do without any Japanese money. I was feeling lonely and depressed when suddenly I heard a young couple speaking French. I asked them if they spoke any English, and they told me, in good English, that they were Belgian students. When I explained my problem, they immediately offered to take me around the city and look for somewhere where I could change money. They paid for my bus ticket and they took me to several places, and in the end we found a hotel where I was able to change my cash. They then invited me to join them and their friends for the evening. I had a fantastic night and I've never forgotten how they changed all their plans just to help a stranger. Karina.
Very good. Elisabetta, do you want to read The Angel?
Okay. The Angel. It was a cold Sunday evening in Manchester. I was a university student and my girlfriend and I had been invited to dinner with our tutor at his house 30 kilometers away.
Yeah.
We decided to go on my motorbike, but we hadn't realized how cold it was, so we hadn't dressed properly, and after 10 minutes on the bike, we were absolutely freezing. When we were about halfway there, the bike started to make a funny noise and then stopped. We had run out of petrol. We stood at the side of the road, shivering with cold and not sure what to do. Suddenly, a passing car stopped. The driver got out, opened the boot of his car, and took out a can of petrol. He walked up to my bike, opened the petrol tank, and poured the petrol in. He then closed the tank and got back into his car without saying a single word and drove away. We couldn't believe our luck. We sometimes wonder if the man who rescued us was an angel. Andy.
Okay, very nice. What about the meaning? Is that clear? Everything? Do you want to have a look and look for some word inside it?
Word.
No, it's okay.
Some word, okay.
Word. Che sarà versare?
Let's start with the students. Tell me. Was living South Korea, time to I have to leave the country, return again at my visa. No, what is a visa?
Credit card.
No?
Il visto.
Ah, visto, okay. Thank you.
So I booked a ferry. You know what a ferry is?
A navy boat.
Yes, it's a boat.
A barca.
Yes. I intended to change some Korean money into Japanese yen. Of course, this is the currency. Yes. When I got there, but when I arrived, I discovered it was a holiday in Japan, and all the banks were closed. I didn't have a credit card, so I walked from the ferry terminal, terminal, and towards, towards.
Verso.
Yes. The town, wondering what I was going to do without any Japanese money. Wondering, asking myself.
Domandandomi.
Yeah, That's it, wondering. Okay, I was feeling lonely and depressed when suddenly I had a young couple speaking French. I asked them if they spoke any English. They told me in good English that they were Belgian students. When I explained my problem, they immediately offered to take me around the city and look for somewhere where I could change money. They paid for my bus ticket and they took me to several places, and in the end we found a hotel where I was able to change my cash. They then invited me to join them and their friends for the evening. I had a fantastic night and never forgotten that they had changed all their plans just to help a stranger. Okay, that was good. Let's do it. Something. No, I want to go. Okay, yeah. No, the angel. Okay, I'm trying to find out how to use the highlighter. Yeah. It was a cold Sunday evening in Manchester. I was a university student. My girlfriend and I had been invited to dinner with our tutor. You know the word tutor, of course.
Tutor.
At his house.
Professor.
Yes. 30 kilometers away. Far, 30 kilometers. You say 30 kilometers away. That is the distance. We decided to go on my motorbike, but we hadn't realized how cold it was. So we hadn't dressed properly. This is a very common, yes, very common.
Maniera adatta, insomma.
Yes, properly. And then after 10 minutes on the bike, we were absolutely freezing. Okay. Congelati, yes. When we were about halfway there.
Metà strada.
Metà strada.
Essere a metà strada, vedete? We were about halfway there. Queste è proprio le modalità di cui parlavamo con Carla, il parlare in un modo che non sia tradurre letteralmente, ma usare dei modi appropriati molto più british, come in questo caso, essere a metà strada, invece di dire when we were at halfway, we were about halfway there. Okay. The bug started to make a funny noise and then stopped. We had run out of petrol.
The verb that we
finish.
Okay.
Senza benzina.
Yes. We stood at the side of the road, shivering with cold.
Tremando.
Yes. And not sure what to do. Suddenly a passing car stopped. Driver got out, opened the boot.
Il serbatoio.
Il serbatoio?
No,
Il
non è
cofano?
il cofano proprio, il boot.
Il cofano.
Il boot è proprio il cofano, Boot.
Ma boot è scritto come lo stivale?
È scritto e si dice come lo stivale, esattamente la stessa identica parola, ma in questo caso è il cofano.
Se no dopo te ne devi ricordare troppe, meglio una che ha 12 significati, capito?
Infatti.
E la metti qua e là a
Quella
seconda di come...
a un certo punto metti boot, se non è cofano è scarpa.
A meno che non ti compri un paio di cofani nuovi, coi tacchi.
E qua vedete invece quello che dicevate voi. Open the petrol tank. Questo è il serbatoio. Ok. And pour.
Versato.
È versare del liquido, pour. Ok? Di solito
il verbo è to pour.
To pour, sì, ed è regolare. Come potete fare? Hai una. Then closed the tank and got back into his car without saying a single word. Anche questo è un modo di dire molto comune.
Senza dire una parola.
Sì, proprio senza dire neanche una parola, noi diciamo. without saying a single word and drove away. We couldn't believe our luck. Questo è un altro modo, perché in italiano noi diciamo non potevamo credere a quel che vedevamo. Invece è we couldn't believe our luck. Non potevamo credere a tanta fortuna, non si dice molto in italiano. We sometimes wonder the man who rescued us, to rescue. Salvare proprio da un pericolo, da una situazione in questo caso. Non è come save, save, rescue, è proprio tirar fuori da una brutta situazione. Was an angel. Ok. Sono anche riuscita a usare l'evidenziatore dopo 1 anno e mezzo. Il che mi rende molto boasting myself. Ok, proviamo a finire con questo piccolo esercizio sempre sul third conditional. Match the sentences halves from the story. Ok, abbiamo le prime frasi.
Halves
Is the plural of half. Half, halves. È un plurale irregolare. Half, mezzo, i mezzi. Le due metà.
Le mezze, sì.
le due frasi. Formiamo queste 3 frasi complete. Vai, Maila.
If the inspector hadn't stopped the train to Leeds. I try to...
No, one of these, A, B or C.
Queste 3.
Okay, oh my God.
It's easier, very easy.
Okay, bye.
Tu andavi sul difficile.
No, ho perso tutto.
Without any money.
Ci sei, Carle?
Sì, trovato.
Ok.
Allora, if the inspector hadn't stopped me, well, we wouldn't have missed his connection.
He would have missed his connection. Vedete la forma? If the man in the car, if the inspector hadn't stopped the train to Leeds, he would have missed his connection. Past. Okay, Anna, 2.
If the couple hadn't helped Karina, she would have been alone without any money.
She would have been alone without any money if the couple had not helped Karina. She would have been, would plus have been, alone without any money. And Betta?
If the man in the car hadn't stopped, they would have had to walk for miles in the cold.
If the man in the car had not stopped, they would have had to walk for miles in the cold. Ok?
È da suicidio questa terza frase.
Questa qui è complicata, però l'avete capita completamente il significato, al di là di formarla, no? Per cui, now look at the sentences below. Which one describes what really happened? And which one describes how the situation might have been different? Per cui abbiamo le 2 frasi e dovete stabilire qual è quella che descrive nel dettaglio cosa accadde realmente e quella che invece descrive la situazione che sarebbe potuta accadere. Ok? Leggetele e poi... Fatto. Vai, dimmi Carla.
Come Tony Muchacha. Fatto.
Brava, fatto.
Giovanni,
gli ho cambiato nome per l'occasione. Allora, the second one, the inspector stopped the train so he didn't miss the connection, is it describes how the situation really is.
Good, very good.
And the first one, it is the possibility that would be if yes, the inspector etc.
The inspector,
Hadn't
etc.
stopped the train,
Yes,
he
hadn't
would have
stopped the
missed
train.
his condition.
Perfect, very much. So, quello che potete adesso fare è andare a pagina 148 e se vi va, for next time, ve le preparate, ma se non le preparate le vediamo insieme poi.
Se prepariamo ci mettiamo 12 ore, prof.
Appunto, per quello dico, le preparate così le facciamo al volo la volta prossima.
Che solo a cercare tutti sti head, would, head, have.
Esercizio A e D, match the phrases, che questo è abbastanza semplice, e qui invece cover A plus J and try to remember the end of the sentence. Questo non ci interessa, la B la tralasciamo, ma facciamo la C.
La C.
Complete third conditional sentences with the correct form of the verb. Proviamoci a farla,
Pagina 140.
aiutandoci anche con la parte sopra o con la lezione che avete. Nel frattempo io, se non ve l'ho già mandata, ma comunque vi rimando la proiezione che abbiamo visto all'inizio, ve la mando magari in PDF perché è molto più leggera e tanto vi arriva in tutte le slides, così vi arrivano direttamente, ve la mando subito, se no poi me lo dimentico. E quindi ci possiamo rivedere martedì prossimo. I hope that you are passing a nice Easter and you eat your chocolate, not too much like Anna. Anna, you don't eat a lot of chocolate, I know, just a little bit. I got my big chocolate eggs. And I'm going to do my barbecue on the terrace.
Oh, nice idea.
Wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
What a nice
I'm
view
lucky.
from your terrace, Paola.
Yes, I'm very lucky actually.
Yes,
Yes.
it's
Because
so
at
nice
least
to
I got
see.
yes, an open space in front of I mean, I got my neighbors, of course, around me and many noises, but
you see
I got
also the sea.
yes.
And
Very lucky
the
to see.
perfect
Very nice.
vision.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very lucky. I know I am. And I appreciate, but not now. I always appreciated it. I don't need this period to appreciate what I have. I always appreciated it. Yeah. Okay. And so I hope you enjoy and you pass a quiet moment.
Thank you.
Alone or with your family is the same, with yourself, a quiet moment with yourself. I send you a lot of hugs and kisses. I love you all, and I hope to see you very
Thank you,
soon.
Paola. We also love you.
Okay.
You're so kind.
Many kisses.
Yeah. And I see you next time. Okay. Happy
Okay.
Okay.
Happy
Ciao.
Easter.
Ciao everybody.
Baci a
Bye.
tutti.
Bye,
Ciao.
everybody.
Ciao.
Bye. I close it forever.
Ciao.
Bye.